Hello and good morning everyone. It's 9:10 in the morning on a Sunday. Apologies for the road traffic, but the reason why I'm out at 9:10 in the morning on a Sunday and the reason why I'm at this location at this time is because that is the city centre and this is one of the main through routes. But I wanted to show you this. This place is Bramhall Lane, the famous ground for Sheffield United FC. As you can see by that emblem there, the club started in 1889, but actually this stadium has the singular honour of being the oldest stadium in the world. This stadium was named after the street Bramhall Lane, which in turn was named after the Bramhall family who lived round here. They were extremely well to do, and originally in the early 50s and late 1840s this was actually a cricket ground, and in 1855 they broke ground to make this place what it now is today, of course, after the history of it. So yeah, the stadium is on the site of the first ground and has a history of 168 years. And there's some interesting bits here. On top of the doors you can see the entrance numbers here. It says Bramhall Lane Upper Turnstiles. Home supporters only admitted to this area of the ground. Automated turnstile entrance 15, 14, 13, 12, 9, 8. So we're getting over to the main entrance for where a lot of the fans will come in, and the car park entrances. And that bit there, which looks like a different bit of building, is actually the turnstiles for the South Stand. It's a huge place, unbelievably big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 floors, the equivalent of 7 floors high if you look at that building on the end, which is still part of the ground. And a large emergency exit areas there. So guys, I'm going to cross over, get a bit closer to it, and show you what we're going on with. There we have, you're at the centre of the world. Oh, award-winning restaurant. It's a hotel area. They've got an attached hotel, which to be fair is not unusual. It's not unusual with top flight football. That sort of thing happens quite regularly now. So here we are. This is the car park area here where visitors can come in. It's pretty accessible really, so I'm going to pop round because it's wide open and publicly accessible. I'm going to come in, unless of course somebody says get this end off. And there we go. This is the main entrance to the ground where most of the supporters would come in. Sheffield United FC, and you can just see the back of the Tony Curry stand. It's quite a large car park area really, as you can see, and there is a hotel over the road as well, and that road there is Bramhall Lane, and we'll have a look at that a little bit further. I'm going to give you a bit of a history of it as well, tell you a bit more. Let's get down here a little bit. There's a bit of a hill there, so let me show you that. There we go. Legends of the Lane, 9:15, that gives you the time of the day. Let's come and have a look at the statues first, and then we'll have a planned view of the stadium and I'll tell you a little bit more. But as you can see, it's quite a large ground. Actually, where it says Boundary Corner over there, or Boundary Corner Development, there is more on the other side. You can probably tell if you look at that bit over there, there's more to see. So here's our first one. And actually I'm going to pull back a little bit because it shows you how they've been done here. You've got the entrance to the stadium there, which says entrance Sheffield United Football Club, and then you've got both of these statues. That's impressive, isn't it? I do like that. And then of course you've got the entire ground as well. Well, let's have a look at what this is. Can I just say it's blooming freezing, my fingers are frozen to the bone, but let's have a look. So we've got Sheffield United Football Club, Joe Shaw, 1945-1966, 714 appearances, a club record, a true legend of the lane. And you've got lots of people here in memoriam. Yeah, that's really good. This statue is bigger than life size. It's probably 1.5 times the size. Maybe 9 feet tall. BBC Radio Sheffield, that was put on by. And then we've got here LMA, League Managers Association, Coupland family, Derek Barnes, Taylor Dunk, Alan Digby Blade, Zach Walton, there's a couple there. Frank Yates in recognition as a chairman of United Junior Senior Blades 1991 to 2012. Mike Webb, lifelong Blade, meticulous secretary, Sheffield United Senior Blades for many years, 1934 2016. So there's some in memoriams there that are quite good. Joe Shaw, best centre half we ever saw, Sheffield United Senior Blades 1981. That's really good. I mean, there's definitely history here, obviously, because it's the oldest. Let's have a look and see what this is. And this one here, obviously it's a manager. Derek Dooley, MBE. Here we go. Sheffield United Football Club, 1974-2006. Former chairman of the club, one of the Steel City's greatest sons. Derek Dooley was well recognised. In fact, there's a street in town when a new one was opened, probably about 2010, 2011. We consider it a new one because of the way it was done as a new version and a new through route around town. And it's called Derek Dooley Way. And that's who the guy is. A couple of... So the sponsored areas, ELG Haniel Metals has sponsored that one. Arnold Lavers Timberworld has sponsored that one. Senior Blades, founded in 1981, remembering all Senior Blades committee members who, through their loyalty dedication, ensured the club could prosper. Remembering J. Peter Whitney, Chairman, Official, SUSC Executive Committee, 1984 to 2014, a true Blade. Blades, so they're called the Blades, you've probably heard that a few times, it says the Blades Superstore down there as well. They were initially named the Blades in recognition of the fact that Sheffield is a steel town. That's their Sheffield United Football Club. The Blades. I'm just going to go have a quick look over here and see what that is. Some more memorials actually, that's what you've got here, and I think that's really good that they do remember. But it's a huge monster of a place. It has a capacity of 30,000, 30,700 I think it is, something like that. Yeah, it's a memorial garden. Sheffield United Football Club. Only fresh flowers, no imitation or other objects, photographs can be left in tribute. They should only be placed at the base of this hill just behind the brick wall. Any other fresh flowers will be removed, as will the flowers when they're withered. Thank you for your understanding. Yeah, that's really good. Every brick has a name on it. You've got these over here, the memorial gardens for the Blades gone by. Once a Blade, always a Blade. And I think this is something that fans do possibly. But all of them are memorials. Look, you can see that Hall of Fame. Tony Garner panel, Brian Dean panel, Diaghieri panel, that's all of them. That's something they do for the fans, which I think is superb. So I'm going to walk out of sight. Let's give you a view there. Big, stunning place. Let's walk out of sight and go around the other side and see what we can see. That actually gives you another view of the stand, look. Here we go. That's the stand. And you started at 1, 2 and 3 over that way, and you finish at 73, so they're the different gates that people can go into. This might be for the away stands, as you can see. That's a huge monster of a stand. You can see the DSM stand over there. And then obviously this stand here, which we talked about, the Tony Curtis stand. Let's go. The housing around here is incredibly expensive. It's always been 1 to 2 times more expensive than housing of the same quality anywhere else. Because It's a place for football fans to live. Your die-hard football fans want to live near their stadium, and there's a lot of that actually. So let's have a look. As we go around onto this far road here, exit door Y, coming soon. So this is the development that must be the Boundary Saw development. Little sandwich shop, that's so traditional when it comes to football stands. Boxed off and closed off so there's no through route, which is understandable. So I'm going to cross the road because it's such a big thing, I want to get a decent view of it. Here we go, look. Main reception, hospitality boxes, Blades Family Hub, Shoreham Street, Platinum Suite, Legends of the Lane, sensory room. Oh, that's good. Disabled Match Day Lounge. That's good, they cater for all that. So this bit is Cherry Street. It gives you a good view here. So yeah, I am going to cross the road. These are all student accommodations, by the way. You can see where it says let by everywhere. Let's have a look. So the capacity is 32,750. The field size, it's 101 by 68 metres. They broke ground to build it as a football stadium in 1855, which makes it 168 years old. But they actually opened it on the 30th of April, 1855. So the first bit that we went round that you saw, that's known as the Bramall Lane stand. That was renovated in 1966. So they had it for 110 years before they did the renovation. Then the Kop, which is a seated stand, was done in 1991. I'll get my teeth back in. 1991. The South stand was built in 1975. In 1994, due to sort of major changes in legislation, it was all changed over and it became a fully seated stadium now. That was obviously because of disasters that had happened in another part of this city for a different ground, which I won't name on this one because I know the fans will not like me for that, but it is named after a day of the week. Yeah, one of the biggest disasters in football history occurred in this city as well, but not this ground, thankfully. You can see you can go up there. The stairs to go all the way up and take you around the top. So we're going to walk through. So it became all seated in 1994, and then in 1996 the John Street stand, which is the far end, I'll show you that, that was rebuilt. 2066, jump to the future. 2006 the concourse was rebuilt. That may be this concourse here. You can see how wide it is over there. That concourse may have been rebuilt then. Oh no, it's the Bramall Lane side, but the other side is here as well. 2001 it was expanded. The Kop Corner was built. In 2006 they also built the Westfield Health stand. And the architect was Johnson stand. For the John Street stand was Ward McHughes Associate. So in 1855 it was actually used by the Yorkshire Cricket Ground, Yorkshire County Cricket Club. Sheffield FC used it during 1873 to 1884, and Sheffield United, who started off life in 1889, they moved in, took it as their place then. It's been over 100 years for those guys as well. We're just on the street here, so I'm just going to carry on as we go. So it's known as Bramall Lane, as I said, and that's literally because of the Bramall family. They were a family of file and graver manufacturers, so definitely in the steel trade, and they owned a place called the Old White House, which is on the corner of Bramall Lane and Cherry Street. We'll see if we can spot that. It's now a pub called the Sheaf House. I think we did see that actually. That was a... Well, we'll have a look at it again. Hold on. Okay. Roadworks being done. So that's John Street on this side here. I'm going to move across. Morning. He give me the finger. Council worker. Never mind. So here we go. This is John Street. Get a good view of the stadium from here, and obviously this is the outer side of it. So this is the only one of two grounds. The other one was the Oval, which is a cricket ground that hosted English football internationals before 1930 and an English cricket test match, which was England-Australia, and an FA Cup final. Barnsley beat West Brom in 1912, regularly hosted the semi-finals, and obviously lots of, in fact the UEFA, the Women's Euro 2022 matches were done here as well, so that's something. It's also hosted rugby league games and the Sheffield Eagles, as well as the delayed Rugby League Cup, which was done in 2022. It should have been in 2021. Believe it or not, it's also been a spot of religious events. Billy Graham came here in 1985. In 1988, this is where Bruce Springsteen played. And a friendly match for the 150th anniversary was between Sheffield FC, and they played Inter Milan in 2007, and Travis Pastrana motocross event in 2016. There have been boxing matches held here, all kinds of things. So it's a big stadium for a lot of things. Big old spot. Can't get inside. Oh, but I can see the ground. Look at this. You're not going to see much of it, and it's a little bit, looks like a bit of rubbish piled up. Not done the cleaning, have they? But you can just make out the ground from there. Not much of a view. It looks like the goalpost just about. Let me get down here. Out there. Oop. Come on. There we go. Yep. It's as much as you're going to be able to see, unfortunately, on a Sunday morning. So this is the John Street entrance. Let's have a quick look at this. Again, it's difficult to tell you how high it is. It looks like 3 stories at least. It's massive. Well, to fit 33,000 people in there or thereabouts, kind of has to be, doesn't it, I suppose. But yeah, Sheffield history, the oldest ground, or the oldest football stadium in the world. For major matches back in the day, the other Sheffield club that shall remain nameless, and Sheffield FC also used it. So the idea for making this place was actually dreamt up by a cricketer by the name of Michael J. Ellison. He was absolutely a champion of cricket, and it was his idea to say, right, okay, let's do this, and the rest is kind of history. I'm going to take it to the end of the road, and then I think we'll be done with that for there. So it says, according to my research, that the first ever football match was played here between Sheffield FC and Hallam FC on the 29th of December 1862. Now, I think Sheffield FC is actually the oldest football club in the world. They've got a little football stadium, and there's a lot of well-known international players that are honorary members. Bless him, before he passed, Pele was an honorary member, and he'd visited the place apparently as well. Sheffield is the home of football. So this match, Sheffield FC and Hallam FC on the 29th of December 1862, was also the first charity match. And to give you an idea of how different the regulations were in the 19th century compared, it was a 3-hour match. It's a 3-hour match, and it was a 0-0 draw for anybody who wants to know the score. The first Football Cup final was held here in 1867. In 1867, Hallam FC beat Norfolk to win the Uden Cup. It was the site of the first floodlit game. The first floodlit football game was in 1878 here, and they used it. It was also the first place to use what is now the standard fixed crossbar for the goals. This was the first place to do that. So quite a place of innovation, really. It's a huge area, banqueting and the rest of it. The first England versus Scotland international game was played here, outside of London or Glasgow. That was in 1883. And the first FA Cup semi-final between Preston North End and West Bromwich was in 1889. That was a record event. Can you believe it? It was a record event in 1889, the most money ever taken by this ground in its history. And, you know, as records have it, was that match, that semi-final match between Preston North End and West Bromwich Albion. Sheffield got themselves gate receipts of just over £500, which is a stunningly huge amount at that time. And as a result of that, Sheffield United Football Club was formed. Let's just go over here and show you the map where we've gone. So you are here, as you can see, the visitors enclosure. That's Cherry Street where we were. You saw the main entrance on the side, and then obviously the pitch itself. There's a disabled entrance there. DB, there's a director's box. You can just spot that. Middle upper tiers. You've got the F for the front, B for the back, L for lower tier. And this is the whole place. This is the whole thing. The ground plan of the place. So, as I said, I'm going to cross the road to get a better view. I'm sorry, it is a busy road, as I said, and that is pretty much the centre of town, and the longer it goes, the busier it's going to be. Founded in 1889 as an offshoot of Sheffield Union Cricket Club. The nickname comes from the history of cutlery producing city, which it has been massively so. We've been producing cutlery here since the sort of 1600s. That's the nickname of the Blades. And Bramhall Lane has been their stadium since the beginning. Sheffield United have worn red and white striped shirts. The Steel City Derby is contested between them and their main rivals, who shall not be named. It is said that Sheffield is the home of association football. The game, featuring 6 men on each side, was played here as far back as 1793. I don't know whether that's verifiable or not, but certainly in 1862 the Sheffield FC and Hallam FC did have their match here. That's one of the first properly recorded and documented matches. I'm just going to pop further over, because up there you may or may not just be able to see that pub there with the that's supposed to be Sheaf House, which was owned by the original Bramhall family, for which this stadium is named. Massive monster site. Almost there, guys. I'll get to this pub, we'll have a quick look at it, and then we'll call it a day there. But as I say, it's the first stadium. It's got a lot of firsts, as you can as you've heard. It's got a heck of a lot of history, and anybody anywhere in the world who watches or plays, this is the first stadium where it all started. So this hotel here, the Railway Hotel, I'm pretty sure this is Sheaf House, because this is actually the thing that's on the corner. It's absolutely on the corner of Cherry Street and Bramhall Lane. There's Cherry Street coming up there. That's the car park we walked into initially, and this is the one that they said was the pub. Let's have a quick look. As you can see, definitely a football pub. Look at that. The Railway Hotel. Home supporters only. Yep. Yeah, there isn't anything else here, so it's got to be this building. This is the building of the family, and this, ladies and gents, this was Bramhall Lane, home of stadium football. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed it. I threw a lot of facts and figures out to you there. It is a bit noisy, I do apologise for that, as I said. But yeah, 168 year history, 1889 onwards for Sheffield United as it stands now. And yeah, if you liked it, guys, by all means give me a like, tell your friends, subscribe, and I'll leave it there with this view, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for now. Bye bye.